Hello, everyone. I'm here with a very good friend for many years. His name is Yoni Mazor from GETIDA. It's a pleasure to see you. We almost see each other a couple times a month usually, but didn't see you some time now, so it's good to see you again.
I'm here.
And today we're going to talk about Amazon refund and what it does for you, for your brand, and how it could really help you leverage the money that's owed to you to make sure that you get it back in your account and not Amazon keeps it. So it's a pleasure to have you, and looking forward that a lot of sellers that watch this video to get a little more educated on the refund process. So the first question that comes to mind is, what happens if a seller never used a refund tool like GETIDA? Like, what is he missing out on life?
Got it. So what we call it is, the first part of the process is the auditing side, right? So we call it FBA auditing. And if you do well and you find discrepancies, that can lead to potential reimbursements or the refunds, FBA reimbursements. So high level statistics, we see that on an annual basis, the discrepancy rate can range between 1 to 3% from your revenue. So let's say if you're $1 million seller selling $1 million in FBA annually, it can be $10,000 to $30,000 that you might be owed to, right? And if you don't do anything about it, you're just gonna let it go. And instead of getting that back and hopefully reinvesting into your business, and that's when things start to compound, because you take that money, you generate more money. Because if you don't take it, you don't make any money. But if you take it, you make more money. So over the years, it just becomes a more and more of compounding issue for the sellers to be able to move forward successfully and grow their business in a very healthy way. But now I want to, with your permission, jump a little bit into the context. If you've never heard of FBA auditing and reimbursements, so like, what are they even talking about? I'm going to give you a quick context. So when you sell on Amazon, you have the option to send Amazon all your inventory to their fulfillment centers called FBA, Fulfilled by Amazon. And then let's say Ephraim, he's sending 1,000 units as a seller, right, to Amazon's fulfillment center. And Amazon, instead of receiving 1,000 units, only receive, let's say, 990 units. So 10 units are missing. It's up to you, the seller, to discover that, reconcile it, open a case with Amazon, provide them all the documentation if needed. And then they're going to investigate it. And if they find it, great, you can sell it, make your money. If not, they're going to have this insurance policy. And then with this insurance policy, they're going to activate the reimbursement. This is just one simple type of discrepancy that most sellers understand because they send the inventory into Amazon. But just so you know, here's a bit short context or summary about the rest of the complications. So once your units are inside Amazon's fulfillment centers, inside, all of a sudden they get lost, damaged, destroyed, disappeared, overcharged with fees, right? Also between the warehouses, Amazon might ship your products from Kentucky to California to Nevada to have a prime shipping within 1 or 2 days for consumers, so they spread all around the countries. Same issues happen from the fulfillment centers to the consumers. When the orders come in, consumers back to Amazon with all the refunds, the returns, and the fulfillment centers back to the sellers if you do a removal order. So all these fulfillment friction points, that's where all these issues happen, and they compound, and they can be between 1 to 3% from your revenue. Or another way to quickly look at it is, for every 100 units a seller ships to Amazon's fulfillment centers, between 1 to 3 units get affected with all these issues.
Oh, wow. So it happens pretty frequently.
It's just statistical. Yeah, this is just, a statistical error, right? So Amazon, if you want to flip it, it means that Amazon is doing an amazing job 97, 98, 99% of the time with hundreds of billions of dollars worth of inventory from millions of sellers all over the world. So they're doing an amazing job. So all these kind of things are fringe. They're on the sidelines, but they're worth a lot. And especially they're worth if you're getting that money back and you reinvest it into the business and you go to the future. So at GETIDA, our mission is pretty simple, actually. It's very focused on, it's only focused on maximizing FBA reimbursements for Amazon sellers, because if you don't get the maximum as a seller, you also kind of lose two things. The first thing you lose is your investment, the money you invested into the inventory, right? Everybody's doing sourcing and all that stuff. And the second thing, which is very interesting, is that you lose your profit. And why? Because when Amazon pays a reimbursement, they actually pay you the retail value, not your cost value, right? So if your cost is $2 and you want to sell it on Amazon for $20, when they reimburse you $20. So you get your $2 back and the $18 of profit. So our mission effectively is to shift the double negative into a double positive. So instead of losing your money and your profit, you'll get all back. And of course, once you reinvest into the business, it accelerates your future growth. So that's kind of how it all affects the sellers.
Right. Yeah, I remember when I was a seller and I was doing that's when once I got introduced to reimbursements and audit, I think I was doing like around 1.3 million revenue that year. I think that was the point when I started knowing about refunds because stuff were missing. And I think between all the claims that we submitted, I think it was around $53,000 or $55,000 of claims of reimbursements, because it's not only 12 months to my knowledge, right? I think it's 18 months.
18
right?
months, yep.
Right. So they went back 18 months, got me reimbursements, and I was around a little over 50. I remember 53 or 55.
So that's 3.5% to 4%, but it's not for a year; it's for a year and a half. So that kind of it's within the ranges. But just to clarify on the spectrum, on average, blended across the sellers, we have tens of thousands of sellers. It's 1 to 3% because one seller could be 7%, the other one could be 0.5%. If you kind of blend it all in and create a spectrum, we see, right, for the past 8 years, we can safely say that it ranges between 1 to 3%.
Got it. What percent of sellers do use an audit or a refund tool versus don't?
So I would say that to kind of repackage it, to answer it, I'll repackage it in a different direction. So, we're doing this for about 8 years, and we see that over the years that it's kind of the world of Amazon sellers is split into half, right? Half of the sellers are not even aware that there's an issue, that there's a discrepancy, and they have to do anything about it. So now forget about a solution provider. For their own needs, they don't even know. So what we do a lot at GETIDA with our mission beyond actually servicing the issue is actually educating the sellers. We do a lot of workshops. There's tens of millions of dollars a year right now being refunded by sellers, and we don't see a penny out of that because it's just our contribution to the industry. We raise their awareness, they're educated about it, and we do workshop and we teach them how to do it for free. So that's kind of half of the sellers. So once they realize the potential and know what to do, they take action, they're good to go. And it's part of our mission to make sure that they educate them so they can do it. Once again, it goes back to our mission of maximum reimbursement. So we can do it through education, or if we want to help, we can actually do it for you. So whatever you want, we're here for you. The other half of the sellers are kind of, they know something about it, they do something about it, but they don't know how much more they can get. For example, if you owe $10,000 for the year and you have a team or another provider, working in your account, and you're only getting $3,000 or $4,000, you think, oh, I'm great, I'm doing great, but you actually owed another $6,000. We bring to their attention that, with GETIDA, it doesn't have to be us or your team or another provider. It could be together. They can get everything they can get, and then we can come in, whatever's being left behind, we can discover that, we can recover that, and only if we're successful, we get rewarded. This is where GETIDA becomes a really nice value proposition for the sellers because we're performance based. It's free to join GETIDA. It's free to stay with GETIDA. There's no subscription. You can cancel at any time. We work on performance. So only if we recover something for you, something you never had before, only then we get rewarded. Whatever is yours, keep it. We don't want any part of it. But whatever you can't get, we're happy to be, your solution for that. And only for successful, we get rewarded. So that's kind of the world that we live in, where it's kind of 50-50. 50% are not even aware. We're taking a lot of action about that. The other 50% are not aware how much more they can get. So through this kind of content or a lot of outreach, if you're selling on the space, you see that we support a lot of shows and a lot of masterminds. That's part of the reason. So we keep that educational components, because once you're educated, you can make educated decisions. You usually always win. So
yeah, 100%. I don't know if you know the answer for that. Maybe recently I've spoken to a couple of sellers where it used to be Amazon used to stamp every single BOL. What's part of the reimbursement? Obviously, what happens that you lose product is when you deliver your goods to Amazon, and Amazon received 80% or 90% or 95% of it, and you're missing a couple of units or a couple hundred units, a couple thousand. It could be different scenarios, different stories.
right.
And the only way Amazon will give you a reimbursement is if you have a POD, right?
Proof of delivery, yeah.
Proof of delivery. So that's a POD, plus you need to have Amazon proof of delivery. That means or Amazon stamped it or electronic POD. From what I hear from some sellers is that they provide, the electronic POD comes from the carrier side. So the carrier could print out a POD from their end showing from Amazon's appointment system showing that this cargo was delivered and this how many cartons units was received. But for some reason, I heard from a couple of sellers, like Amazon keeps on rejecting their claim if that product never checked in. So we have the proof as a POD that we delivered it, Amazon received it, but it never checked in on Amazon at all. So Amazon doesn't allow them to make a case on something like that.
Is it stamped or not stamped?
It's non-stamped. But it doesn't even matter because Amazon never checked in or ever received. So they cannot open up a case on that FBA shipment because it never checked in.
So maybe they cannot open the case on the module because the whole workflow inside the Seller Central. And if that's kind of frozen because of that missing element, you can just open a regular case and then open up that subject and tell them, listen, I need to kind of break the mold because it's something that's a little bit irregular here. And I need your help and consideration, and please investigate this, investigate that, and kind of take it from there. That's what I would try to do.
Got it. And then there's another thing that some people are saying, that Amazon still requires sometimes a stamped BOL, where in California, they're still not stamping BOL to many locations. So how does GETIDA go about that?
So we usually work closely with the carriers and we just get it from them. And usually that works okay as long as it's validated by the carrier, even though it's not stamped by Amazon. Usually no issue on our end. Got
it. Yeah, I would guess probably these sellers that told me about it don't use a tool. They're just doing it on their own. And maybe that's why Amazon, because everything today is systemized more or less. It's not like somebody actually reads every detail that you wrote. A lot of it goes through a system and it just rejects it automatically. Right. So I guess if it goes through software like yours, there's a bigger chance if you have the proper documents from the carrier that you should get reimbursed.
Yeah, we have the integration with the carriers and we understand which documents are needed, and the ones, especially the ones that Amazon understands, and just clarifies and we're good to go. So it makes the whole process streamlined, so it saves you all the back and forth element.
Got it. So basically, this is the basics to understand for a seller, like when they have questions about ordering and get educated about that. How does it relate to inventory? Meaning to say is like, I know maybe you want to share some information like how it comes to profitability. Like I said, 3-4% is missing. and you get reimbursed on that. How does that affect? Do you have like a success story, anything like we could go through?
Yeah, I can definitely. I actually prepared a case study I can share and see
Amazing.
where it takes us. So let's just pull it up real quick so everybody can see it and get some idea of the. I call it like the positive financial impact of maximizing your FBA reimbursements. So let's see what we got here. It's like a cooking show. I prepared prepared this dish for you guys. So here you go. So here's a case study of a $18 million seller. And this $18 million seller sold about 300,000 units for the year. And then 9,000 units got affected with all the issues. The units got lost, damaged, destroyed, disappeared, overcharged with fees, all the issues, all the types of issues accounted to close to 9,000 units, which puts it at a 2.8% discrepancy rate. Now we helped recover $151,000 back to the seller, which added about 11% to the bottom line profit. Because before GETIDA, the profit was 1.3 million. We added another 151,000 and boom, you have this dramatic spike in profitability because once again, think about it in a very simple way. You go back 18 months and you flush out all this cash that simply was available and you bring it back to you. And all that cash just goes back to the bottom line, to profitability. Because there's really no cost associated around it, So that really helps the profitability and the liquidity, right? The cash flow of the seller. So this is the first layer, this 11% bump. Now, keep in mind that there's two more impacts. Depends on which side you are. So the first side is if you're selling your Amazon business. If you're selling an Amazon business and you want to make an exit, every dollar that you add to EBITDA, to profit, you're going to get a multiple for it, right? So let's say you get a 5x multiple for your business and you added $151,000 to your, EBITDA to your profit. So 151 times 5, it's about $750,000 that you're going to make more on your way out because you made one decision: maximize my potential recovery. It's sitting in your account. It's sitting in your business. All you have to do is make one decision, get it. You can do it yourself, or there's solution providers out there that can help you. It happens to be that GETIDA one of them. So by making one decision, for example, I want to use GETIDA, you get that cash, and then if you make an exit, boom, another 750,000. Or if you're buying an Amazon business, right, and whoever sold you the business failed to get everything that belongs to them with the reimbursements, you can do it, and then you get $151,000 back out of the debt, out of nowhere, and improve your investment, your return on investment. So this case study kind of summarizes the potential sophistication and positive impacts of maximizing your auditing and reimbursements with Amazon.
Wow, that's really impressive.
Yeah.
So for last part is like, I want to see myself too, and I'm sure other people want to see is like a demo how to work with GETIDA. I know you're completely SaaS-based. You have software for that. You don't really need to talk to anyone. You could just sign up, connect with the Amazon account, and you're good to go. But I would love to see it.
So let's do that. But before that, I'll do kind of a quick summary about GETIDA and what it all means. So it brings a better context for we'll do a little demo run. But just to clarify, so GETIDA, we're not a software. We're not a tool. We're a solution. As a solution, we use software technology that we created and service the claims. So put together software and basically service, that creates a solution. The solution is really maximizing your available FBA reimbursements. And a lot of times we're asked, what's GETIDA? Is it GETIDA? Is it GETIDA? How do you say it? It doesn't really matter. It's just an acronym. It stands for Get Idea, which is Get Intelligent Data Analytics. We like to see ourselves as a global leader in FBA auditing and reimbursements for the simple fact that we operate on a global level. So whether you sell on Amazon US, Canada, UK, EU, we got you covered. We're actually an award-winning company. We won the Gold Award from the American Business Awards for our dashboard technology. Again, more into that inside the demo. Plus, we ranked 215 in America's Inc. 5000 fastest growing companies in the country. We do have a dedicated team of claims specialists. A big part of our team are former Amazon employees who used to work in those departments, the FBA reimbursements departments. So we know what we're looking for, how to present the issues, and how to deal with all the back and forth. We actually track and monitor our recovery rate. It's over 80%. So for every 10 cases that we open, typically more than 8 cases get paid and reimbursed. And we take a lot of pride in hosting many events. So if you ever wonder what's our next event, just visit getida.com/events. And we like to make our solutions affordable for all sellers at any stage, at any size. You could be a newbie just getting started, or you can do hundreds of millions of dollars. Free to join GETIDA, it's free to stay, no problem. Plus, we're a partner with Amazon. We're a part of Amazon's Sell Essential Partner Network on the software side and the service side. Yeah, in addition to that, we're also part of the Emerald program. Emerald program is a top tier program of the Amazon Partner Network. So we have that badge, which kind of means that we have 2 commitments, right? We have 2 commitments for the sellers, but also to Amazon to make sure that we're terms of service compliant, data security, private policy. We need to perform on the highest levels. So we take definitely a lot of pride into that. And we also have our own show. So if you want to see, we have 2 podcasts. I recommend checking out Prime Talk and checking out Ephraim episode and his life story and journey into e-commerce. It's really inspiring. And then let's jump into the demo. Okay, so once again, when you use GETIDA, when you connect to GETIDA, you actually get access to our platform. So just like that, when you are in our platform, you're going to get real-time visibility on everything that's going on with your FBA recovery and auditing and reimbursement process, which is pretty innovative. That's what we won the Gold Award from the American Business Award. So when you get into the platform, you see in the dashboard, you see high level everything that's going on. You see how many cases that we open, what's the success rate of these cases. You can also change the dates and go back and forth. And you'll see in this red box over here, what is the potential recovery in real time on your account. So in this particular example, it's pretty heavy. It's $3.7 million of potential recovery. The seller, a lot of activity here, it seems like. And you see the cases that are being opened. What's the status of each case? Did it get reimbursed? Is it pending? You see the dates and everything. So this kind of gives you the bird's view on everything that's going on. And as a general summary, which is really simple. And just like that, when you connect to GETIDA, we're going to get you all the refunds that we can, and you don't really have to do anything. But we do have 2 modules in our platform that we're going to touch. I'm actually going to focus at least on one of them, that if you use that module, we're going to get you even more refunds. So check this out. This module is called inbound shipments. You log in and you can be able to see all the FBA shipments that have an issue. And also we'll show you the potential value of each shipment, right? So you can really see and hone in on the issues of the shipments. So instead of you going to Sell Essential and carving out each one and seeing what's missing and what's the value, boom, it's right there immediately, instantly, free of charge. So you can use it yourself, right? And it just save a lot of time for yourself and your team if you just want to do it alone. But of course, if you want to use us, we're happy to help you. So that's the breakdown of every shipment. But over here, you'll see the summary of all the shipments. So you see these shipments are worth about 1.9 million aggregated, all of them together. And you see, so in order to reconcile all these shipments and do the investigation with Amazon, they require a proof of purchase for 444 shipments. So I'm going to ask you, Ephraim, I need you to send me 444 PDF documents. How long is that going to take you?
A lot of time.
A few days, a few weeks, a few months, or never. Typically,
Depends how long I have to go back to, right?
It doesn't matter. It's 444 shipments, and if you give it to them, you get paid. The problem is, the reality is the sellers don't have that luxury of time to stop everything and get that. And so most of the sellers just don't do it. They're overwhelmed. Scale as you success as you grow, it just becomes more of a tedious task. So what we did was we created a solution where if you opt into that solution, you won't have to do anything. We're just going to do it all for you. So check this out. So just to clarify, proof of purchase can be 2 options. One option is an invoice. So 444 invoices, that's a lot of work. That's one option. But if you're a private label seller with brand registry, you don't need to provide an invoice. Instead of an invoice, you can provide a packing slip. And most sellers that we have, at least 70-80% of our sellers are brand owners with brand registry. So they don't have to provide an invoice. So if that's the case, they can log into the system. It's called DocMaster. We actually have a patent on this system, right? And once they log in, they'll be able to put their PIN in. You'll see all the shipments, right, top to bottom. And just one time, they're going to have to do a setup for their packing slip, right, with their information. And once they do, it's going to be in our system. And it will generate the package slips, boom, just like that. So it's going to look beautifully exactly the way Amazon wants to see it and Amazon wants to understand it. And then what they do is they come in here and they clicked on opt-in, and that's it. From that point on, GETIDA will handle all the documentation for them.
Wow, that's amazing.
So 444 documents, the onus and the responsibility becomes on us, basically. We're going to get all that's needed for you so we can reconcile it so you can really move forward. You don't have to stop everything, stop the train. We need, 444 documents just to look into the past. That's not the business. You're in the business of sourcing, launching, selling, moving forward. We're in the business of archaeology, always looking into the past and making it as simple as possible for the sellers so they really can get everything that's there. So in this case, it's $1.9 million across 444 shipments. A lot of work, just a lot of hassling. And many times the sellers that provide documents, Amazon doesn't accept all of them. They don't understand all of them. They take a photo like this or they cross it like that. It just, here we optimize the whole workflow and it makes it super simple, easy. And only if we're successful doing it, only then we get rewarded. So that's kind of the part of the innovation of the dashboard and what we do. And the questions about that before I move forward?
No, I think it's amazing. I never knew that you guys had this tool. So
yeah.
It basically increases the much more refunds potentially to be able to get if you have that lined up.
Yeah. So it means a few things. You never have to handle documentation anymore, which is a real pain point that we see across the years, which is that's why sellers just leaving their money behind because they just can't keep up. So we created a whole workflow all you have to do is really opt into it and we take care of it for you. That's it. That's all we do. That's all we live for. This is the only thing we do. We don't sell on Amazon. We don't provide like PPC stuff, nothing. This is like solve this as much as we can. And of course, as there's future complications or more requirements, we create these workflows and environments to help the sellers manage them. So that's kind of a quick demo about the environment. And like I said, all the refunds we can get for you, we get. And when it comes to shipment, this is the modules that we have. So if you opt into it, we'll get it for you. So once again, you don't have to really do anything. And all you have to do is really go back to the dashboard area and see the cases that we open and what's the status of each one. So it makes it very, very simple. Now I want to kind of switch gears a little bit to provide a bit more value for the sellers because we take a lot of pride and focus on helping with the recoveries, which ups profitability, but also we're just optimizing profitability in general and saving on fees and stuff like that. So there's this announcement from Sell Essential that I recommend every seller, especially the brand owners, to take action upon. It's called the Brand Referral Bonus Program. They just, visit Sell Essential, go to the search box and put Brand Referral Bonus Program and opt into it, because what's going to happen if you opt into it is going to give you a special link that if you're going to use that link to drive traffic into Amazon from the outside, you can bring traffic from social media, from YouTube, from your newsletter, from influencers, whatever it's coming from. If consumers use that link and buy on Amazon, you're going to get 10% bonus back. No cap.
Wow.
So if you drive $1 million a year in traffic through that link, it's 100 grand they give you back. If you do 10 million in revenue through that link, it's $1 million. If you do 100 million, it's $10 million. No cap.
Like affiliate, but for sellers.
That's exactly what happened. So over the years, Amazon had the affiliates program, which was very lucrative. What Amazon did was they slashed a lot of their commissions, and they said, we want to move the power to the brands. Why should I give this random person sitting here, making whatever? I want to give it to the sellers who are actually sourcing, launching, branding. They have a lot of power and marketing budgets in their hands outside of Amazon. So I'll give them to drive traffic to Amazon. I'm going to give you all this reward. So the power is within the brands. And this is a hard signal from Amazon about that. So I think sellers should be educated about it, know about it, and boom, this is 10%. So if you get 10% bonus like this, you get another 1 to 3% recovery with GETIDA. That's already kind of 13%, up to 13% you can get back just from optimizing your business from the top line, not from the bottom line. So 13% add back from the top to the bottom, it's just going to skyrocket your profitability also, hopefully. So that's kind of the world that we live in. And if you really want to know your profitability, here's something you can use really quickly. Just visit getida.com/ebook or just scan this code and you're going to get a package of 2 things. The first thing is an ebook about how to read an Amazon's, income statement with all the money that's coming in, all the money that's coming out. But in addition to that, you get a profit and loss template. So you're going to put all your business costs, not just Amazon costs, all your business costs, parking tickets, health insurance, payroll taxes, whatever it is. So you really know if you're making a profit, or if you're not, at least try to be able to see what's causing you to lose money and take action. So this is another part of the packaging that I want to add on to this, so you guys can really appreciate the value in your own business and understand what's going on. And then here's a quick summary, so just make sure that we understand everything that's going on today. Once again, the recap is 1 to 3% from your revenue can be in refunds and reimbursements. Amazon allows you up to 18 months to go back. Beyond that, you lose the eligibility, so do not miss out, because if you do, you lose your profit, your investment, and your profit. We discussed that. And of course, once you open cases with Amazon and Amazon needs more documentation like packing slips and stuff like that, I'll make sure to give it to them. And of course, if you need help, I showed you how the GETIDA platform works. And if you ever wonder why you still might need help with auditing, this is further things that we look into. And if any of these issues here kind of look unfamiliar, it probably means that you're leaving money behind. Okay, so I do recommend visiting a doctor. We happen to be one of those doctors, so we can always kind of do a deep dive in and see if there's any potential recovery there.
And that works through the software as well, like all these other...
Yeah, internally, this is what we kind of look into through all the data analytics that we do.
So you pull everything, whatever you guys could see.
Yeah, we go as deep as we can get to make sure we get the maximum impact. And here's kind of a quick summary about, I guess, the difference between GETIDA and other options. I'm going to put out there and say they're all really good options. You just have to make sure you're educated about the differences. That's pretty much what this is about. So with GETIDA, we're highly specialized service. We're a brain surgeon. Other solutions could be non-specialized services. They're just kind of an upsold feature. These other providers that do many things, and they also do this. It's more of an upsell. It's more like the difference between a brain surgeon and a generalist doctor. If you need to do brain surgery, you can have your general doctor do it for you, or you can go to the best brain surgeon in the world and make sure that your tumor that you have, God forbid, has been removed. That's kind of the differences there. Both of them will try really hard. A good chance that the ones that specialize could get more, impactful results. We do have a team of ex-Amazon employees. Other providers might be using like general, like virtual assistants. That's fine. We look at over 30 types of issues. Other solution might be limited. They say, oh, we only do this. We don't do that. We only do that. We don't do this. We do everything. That's our mission. That's our purpose. Okay. We got to make sure that we take care of the whole FBA discrepancy world. We provide real-time daily audits. In other words, we look into your account every single day around the clock. Others might say, we check into your account once a week, once a month, once a quarter, stuff like that. We actually provide international coverages. Other providers might say, I only do UK, I don't do US, and vice versa, all these things. We're available and approved on the Amazon Partner Network. Others might not be partner or authorized by Amazon. They might be sitting in a basement far, far away. You don't know who they are, what they would do with your data, and stuff like that. For us, we're in the App Store. We're authorized by Amazon, so we have responsibilities. We provide end-to-end full case management. Others might be just a tool. They just give you some data. You have to kind of copy paste, and you have to do all the work. Really, there's no case management. And we're performance-based. Others might be subscriptions. They say you pay me X amount. Doesn't matter if you get refunds or not. You pay me. For us, no. Only if we recover something, only then we get rewarded and we get paid. So that's a quick summary of GETIDA versus other options. Once again, they're all good, but here you'll be able to understand kind of the main differences. This we touched already. And then we did also do is not only that it's free to join and it's free to stay, for Tactical Logistics followers, we prepared a special offer of $400. So the first $400 that we're going to get for you in FBA refunds and reimbursements will be free. And this is a guarantee. So for clipping this offer, you can have $400 extra in your pocket, and it might take us a few days or a few weeks, but you're going to have $400 you never had before. And after $400, if you want to leave us, you can leave us. If you want to stay, you can stay. Whatever it is, it's fine by us. You can just visit getida.com/tactical400 or just scan this QR code and you'll be able to clip the offer. And this is just my info. So if you want to have any questions, thoughts, ideas, just scan this or visit getida.com/Yoni-info. I'm available to discuss anything that, in the world of FBA auditing and reimbursements and beyond. A little bit of background about myself. I don't sell on Amazon anymore, but more than 10 years ago, I started selling on Amazon. Then the business grew very quickly from 0 to 20 million and then to 100 million in revenue. And GETIDA was actually born from that experience because we constantly had issues with inventory. We had so much information and so much data. We couldn't use spreadsheets anymore. They were breaking. So we had to create technology and a special dedicated team just to solve this issue. Because as material, because when you do 100 million, it's 1 to 3 million a year that need to kind of take responsibility and recover.
Right.
So once we created that solution for ourselves, it worked pretty well. Then we told our friends from the industry, we have these capabilities. They told us, help us, we'll pay you. That was the early beginning of GETIDA back in 2015. So yeah, so I've been through all these milestones from 0 to 1 million, been there, 1 million to 2 million, been there, 2 million to 10 million, been there. So whatever I can share from my experience as a seller, but also engaging with thousands of sellers every year, across the world, call these conferences and shows and events. Happy to just, provide that insight and knowledge. As they say, we're here for you.
Yeah, that's amazing. I've seen this a lot of times is where ex-Amazonians, like me, I was a seller, you're a seller. When we come up with a solution or something, it's usually from our own experiences. Like for me, I used logistics all the time when I was a seller, and I felt like it was always broken, and that's why I created what I created. And same like with you, like you had an issue with like, hey, Amazon is losing my crap. It's like, I need my money back. How can we go about it? And then you created that. So it's really amazing. And I think it connects more to sellers when somebody listens to you or to me or to others in the industry that they were sellers or still sellers today, and they actually talking from their own experience. It's not like just like they just do a workshop or have an agency.
I kind of call it we're made from the cut, or this is like from the grounds up. This was created in the foxhole under combat and battle, as opposed to I'm a general from the back from a different industry. Let me try to create some tool, whatever, which is in my work, but it's from the ground up and it's really from the gutters or the foxhole, something I guess driven about it or passionate about it, that it's really focused. I humbly do believe. But what happened was, for a few years we had like two successful businesses. We had the GETIDA and the retailing, but on the retail side we felt like we peaked, and with GETIDA we felt like there's so much opportunity to help sellers all over the world. So what we did, we just cashed out of our retail positions because we felt that if we ever need to go back to it, we could. Nobody can take away what we know how to do. That's like our diploma, and all the profits we made we just kind of invested into GETIDA. And once we had our full focus, attention, motivation, creativity, and energy in one place instead of two places, it made all the difference in the world. Once the sellers became first before the inventory, our inventory, or our selling needs, it made all the difference. And from that point on, I would say we kind of took leadership on the niche, the Amazon FBA auditing and reimbursement niche. So today we have as an organization, we're the largest organization in the world focused just on this, because we have about 215 team members in about 10 countries, and we audit tens of billions of dollars of transactions every day. Wow. So that's kind of we had to take a leap of faith in that junction, and thank God we did. And today we're very, very, still focused and passionate about it.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, my father, the CEO, tells me that like there is approximately 2 million sellers on Amazon's platform, right? So
there's a bit more. So let me, high level numbers. There's about 9 million worldwide, but the 80-20 rule, 20% of the sellers do 80% of the actual industry. So that's about 2 million. You're right.
Right. So you're saying that like we just touch the surface. Like as much as we keep on adding and doing and adding and doing, you just touch the surface because we know there is such a huge audience.
Yeah, it will take me a lifetime to catch up until to 2 million, but once I get there, there's gonna be another 20 million. You understand? Because the they are growing and mushrooming. High level statistics. I think the e-commerce industry is about 14, 15, maybe 16% on a good year from the entire retail industry in America. But you can bet that it's just gonna keep growing to 17%, 18%, 19, 20, or 20 and beyond. And for the simple fact that it's just really more efficient. It's superior for me to go and take my car and jump from this mall to this store to that mall to this store and buy something and put it in my trunk and then go to that. I don't see a reason for that. I just rather just use my fingers with the device that I constantly have. So even with this interview, right? A few clicks and it's in my doorway. So I have time to be with my kids, to read something. It's just superior. It just alleviates, so I get really good products, really a competitive pricing all the way to my doorsteps. And so much time opens up. It's so superior and eventually creates a better human experience for all of us. It just has to grow. And COVID helped us because a lot of, people who are from older generations who are not so tech savvy had to be tech savvy to survive, to eat. They're stuck at home. That helped us. So now it's trickling and it's gonna keep that momentum growing.
Right. And also they're saying like in the next 10 years, the baby boomers, right? They're eventually going to start phasing out, unfortunately. And what happens is they're giving over their wealth to generations of our age, a little older than that, that we are much more tech savvy, right? And we're much more connected to like, hey, let me order online. I don't need to go to the store right
It'll be the shift from the
Right.
generation that supplements on e-commerce to the generation that supplements in the stores.
Right.
And they're really more centralized on e-commerce.
Exactly.
So we're in the
definitely
midst of
going to
that
grow.
shift.
Yeah,
and
it's definitely going to grow a lot more. So yeah, it was an amazing conversation. Always good to talk to you, Yoni. And
Thank
hope
you.
to see you soon. And hopefully whoever listens to it is really going to gain a lot. Like you saw on slides, there's a link for $400 off from if you listen to this video to get $400 off using the tactical code. Or if you want to reach out to Yoni directly, have a conversation with them, you can reach out to Yoni directly. Yoni M at GETIDA. So there you go. You got the scanning code and you shall be all set.
There we go. Take care, everybody.